Alright, hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Casey, and today I've got a pretty fun reading for you guys, so hopefully nothing heavy comes through this time if you're just looking for a little bit of entertainment. Today we're looking at how people perceive you. Now, for some of you, you'll be really interested, like, ooh, I wonder what people think of me. For others, you're like, oh my god, I hate being perceived, I don't want to know how people think of me. If you're not interested, maybe don't watch it, but hopefully today's reading will be fun. You'll get maybe a little bit of an ego boost if you find out people think you're super attractive or something like that. But basically what we're going to be looking at exactly is what are people's first impressions of you, like energy-wise, like what kind of vibe do you give off when you first meet people? Then we're going to be looking at how does your energy affect those around you? You know, your vibe, like I say vibe and energy interchangeably, but it's kind of just like the feeling that you give those around you that, people can't quite put into words. How do you affect those around you? And then finally, we're going to be looking at an overall picture of what is your energy truly like, because maybe it's different with first impressions versus people you truly know, what is it truly like? What's it like to be around you, basically? What's it like to perceive you? So that is everything that we're going to be looking at today. And I have 3 different piles for you to choose from. Pile 1 with the energy card, pile 2 with the illumination card, and pile 3 with the protection card. So go ahead and pause, figure out which reading you feel most drawn to. I'll leave timestamps down in the description box below so you can quickly jump to whichever reading that you want to listen to. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, pile 1. If you chose, I believe it was the energy card, then this is going to be the reading for you. Now I want to start off by saying that the color scheme that we have here is very symmetrical, kind of like you see with the yellows and then the red in the middle and then the 3 blacks or whatever. When I was getting out your cards, the blacks, especially the devil card, really made me think like maybe you are emo. I'm not super into the emo scene. I know there's lots of different terms that people use, but maybe you're somebody who just has kind of a rebellious nature about them, doesn't quite fit in. Maybe you dress very differently than those around you. You don't like to follow mainstream trends. And maybe that's kind of coming up here in the way that your energy is perceived, because a lot of people's first impressions that they get is based on how you look. And maybe the way that you dye your hair or the way that you dress is like, maybe you wear all black, or black and red maybe are your colors. Maybe you have kind of like a more emo vibe to you. I'm not super into the emo scene, so I know there's a lot of different terminology there, like goth, whatever, but it definitely seems like you have a bit of a darker vibe to you, not in like a dark energy evil kind of way, but like in a like color wise, like darker, like it's giving like vampire, like maybe you're really into that kind of aesthetic, and maybe you're into like metal or like emo bands. I don't know. I'm not super versed in it, so I'm not going to embarrass myself here. But that was like one of the first things that I wanted to get off, that people kind of perceive you in that like different or rebellious, like you don't go with the mainstream flow of things. And it's definitely interesting to some people. You stand out in a way. Like the thing that's coming to my mind is like, she's not like other girls, like that's kind of like a stupid thing, but it's that kind of thing. Like you're just different, and to some people it can be very intriguing because it goes against what's quote unquote natural or the mainstream or whatever. But like I said in the beginning, what we're looking at here is what people's first impressions are of you, how your energy or your vibe affects those around you, and then a look at like what is your overall energy like. So starting off with the first impression, we have the protection card and the Fool. And I feel like the protection card is almost saying that the first impression people get is you try to come off in a way that's like you don't care. Like the Fool is a very carefree card. Like he's just prancing around, doesn't really care where he's going. It's like you give off this air of like just like cool, calm, not really caring, like nothing's too serious. But underneath all that, with the protection card, I feel like this is very much a facade. This is not your true self. The version of you when you first meet people or you're around strangers or people you don't know very well is very guarded. You do not open up to like who exactly you are right away, because you're not sure if those people can be trusted, if they're gonna judge you for who you truly are. And I feel like a lot of people do that, it's just safer to put up a facade of like what people want to see, and you give up this facade of, I don't know if aloof is the right word, but it's like nonchalance, like, not really caring, nothing's too deep, like water off a duck's back, like you just seem like very chill. I feel like people might have even told you that you have just like a very chill, cool kind of vibe about you, like not really caring, not like a careless, like you don't care about anything kind of way, but in a, you don't want to show people how much you care. So you just seem very chill. You seem like for example, this doesn't necessarily need to be exactly what you do, but there's this thing that some people do, and I even did it when I was younger, where when it would come to like grades in school, if you got like a bad grade, you were like, oh, well, I didn't even care. Like, I don't care about my grades. And it's just, you're trying to give off that vibe. Like, it doesn't hurt me. Like, you don't need to look down on me. Like, I truly don't care. I wanted this to happen. It's that kind of nonchalance that you give off, because I feel like you don't want people to see deeper. And that's why the protection card is there. It's like, in a way, you're protecting yourself. And that's the kind of like first impression that people get from you, is like, oh, this person's just super chill. They don't seem to like, it's just like I don't know how else to word it other than like a cool kind of like chill energy. I wish I had a better word for it, but I hope you know what I'm trying to say. So the second part that we have here is, how does your energy affect those around you? And I feel like this is those that you kind of like allow to be around you for an extended period of time. So we're not just talking like everyday strangers that you brush past or like have short conversations with, more the people that you hang out with, spend extended periods of time with, or are just in your general vicinity, talking one-on-one with you, or just in general are more in tune with your energy, so therefore can be more affected by it. So the cards that you have here are Strength and the Devil reversed. And like I said before, you kind of give off this energy of, you go against what the mainstream flow is. You don't really do all the like popular culture kind of things. You're very like alt, or like doing things outside the box. And because of that, I feel like it makes people more comfortable to be themselves around you, because you have this kind of authentic energy about you, that you do what makes you happy, you dress the way that you want to dress, you don't give in to societal pressure to fit in like everybody else. And therefore, like when people are around you and maybe you guys are like hanging out one-on-one or in smaller groups, you make them feel like they can let their guard down, like they can talk about what truly interests them, even if it's a little weird or nerdy, or, they feel like they don't have to put up a facade, they can just be real with you, and they know that they won't be judged. And that's why I feel like, because you have the Strength card and the Devil reversed, the Devil card is all about entrapment. And with it reversed, it's like you free them from that. Whatever it is that holds them back, whatever fears hold them back from being authentically themselves, whatever fears hold them back from talking about what interests them or what they love, you set them free from that. You make them feel strong. You make them feel not judged at all. And because of that, they come out of their shell a little bit. I feel like you can kind of attract friends that are like you, that don't go with the mainstream kind of culture of everything, that like doing things differently or didn't necessarily fit in any one place, because you don't judge them. If anything, you love that they're like, quote unquote weird or different from the rest of, the mainstream or the popular culture. And you really build up those around you by letting them do that. It's a very honorable thing that you're doing. Not to toot your horn too much. But like with the Devil card, like I said, you really free them from those shackles of like what society thinks they should be. Something that just came to mind is like the idea of like people in the closet feel like they could be around you and not be judged. Like things like that. Or people that, do things differently or are afraid of being judged, they're able to open up and be around you. So you often have people flocking towards your energy, whether they realize it or not, because they feel safe with you. They feel a lack of judgment around you. And finally, a picture of your overall energy. I feel like it's always changing. You're always changing your look, always changing your style, but also your energy and who you are is always growing and changing. And the reason I get that is because you have the Death card and the Seven of Swords. And with the Seven of Swords, it almost looks like this guy is running away, like catch me if you can. It's like people can never catch up. They can never truly get a grasp of like, what's your style? What's your energy like? Because it's always changing, always evolving. And the same thing with the Death card. If you know anything about tarot, the Death card is not about death itself. It's about change. It's about rebirth. You're always changing and evolving. I don't know if you know the artist David Bowie. He passed away, but he used to be like a rock artist in the 70s. he was always called a chameleon because he was always changing his style, always changing his aesthetic, playing different characters on stage. And something that was interesting about all that is since he was constantly changing and evolving into all these different characters, people would show up to his shows wearing like the costumes of characters that he used to play as, but he was a completely new thing. It's like nobody could ever catch up to him. And I feel like that's what your energy is like. It's never one specific thing. It's always growing and changing. But I think the thing that stays the same in all of it is you have this kind of inviting, non-judgmental, authentic energy that other people that want to be themselves flock to and feel safe in. And you make other people feel strong and make them feel like they can be themselves. And yeah, that's what I get from you. I could go on, but I'd just be saying the same thing. But I hope you enjoyed your reading. I hope it made sense. I hope this, I hope you realize the value that you give to other people. I feel like you might not realize it, but just by being who you are invites other people to do the same. And you're almost a beacon of that. You're a beacon of authenticity, whether you realize it or not. You are comfort to people that need comfort, and to people that feel like outcasts or feel like they can't be themselves. People see you just being you, and they feel like they can be whoever they want to be without judgment. And honestly, that's what we need more of today. So be thankful for yourself and continue to do you, because it's obviously helping a lot of people. So Pile 1, thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. Alright, Pile 2. If you chose the Illumination card, then this is going to be the reading for you. Now, I've been sitting here for the past 10 minutes trying to figure out what your cards are saying, because I think that you are somebody that is extremely hard to place. Like, it's very hard to put into words the kind of energy that you have. And you even have the mystery card here, and I almost wanted to say, like, it's because you're just so much of a mystery to those around you. I feel like you let very few people in, because a part of you is just very tired of fakeness. You want to be really authentic with people, but you also are just tired of having to get to that level with people. You're tired of all you have to go through. You're tired of the fake niceties. You're tired of you're tired of people acting like children. I think that you have a level of like emotional intelligence and this desire to have like no bullshit around you that you really don't have any time for people that just can't match your energy instantly. And I think because of that, you're constantly like walking away from others. Like at this point, I feel like you'd rather be in your own energy than have to have like others around you, because it's so draining to have to deal with people that are just fake or emotionally unevolved or just stupid is the word coming to mind. Like I feel like you're just really done with the vast majority of people. I think you're definitely a bit of a pessimist and you almost have this energy about you that is like a barrier that keeps people out. It like makes it known to them that you don't want them around if they are that kind of person that just peeves you. Like I feel like you get very annoyed very easily at the idea of having to listen to somebody talk unless you truly vibe with them. And I feel like there's very, very, very few people that you actually can get along with. And I feel like you've kind of gone to this like resigned point where like you're fine with it. You're like, you know what? I'd rather be alone anyway than have to deal with these people because that's how annoyed you are. You could be somebody that has a higher IQ than normal. You could have a very unique viewpoint on life. Like I said, you could be very pessimistic. I feel like you don't fit in with your age group. I feel like you're very different. You've always been a bit of an outcast, and you just feel so different. Like you don't want these other people around you because you don't want to have to stoop to their level to understand them. And I'm not trying to say like the vast majority of people are stupid. I feel like you're coming from this point of view where it's like, you know the way that you like things, you know what interests you and what doesn't, and a lot of the things that the majority of people are interested in, you're just not interested in, and it's like you don't want to waste your breath on them, you don't want to waste your time on them, so a vast majority of the time you are very self-isolating, I feel like. And I don't say this with any judgment, I'm just trying to say how I see it. So starting off here with what is people's first impression of you? You have the mystery card clarified by the Three of Wands reversed. And like I said, the mystery card, nobody understands you. I feel like very few people are very close to you, and you might even have like a bit of a, what's the word? Not cryptid, but it's like when there's like rumors or there's like stories about you that like people make up because like they have no idea who the true you is. So it's like, I feel like you don't even care at this point. Like, people have like weird rumors made up about you or fake ideas about you that it's like, you're like, whatever, I could care less what people think about me. Nobody knows the truth. But it's like that kind of thing where nobody understands you. So there's all these different, like, do you know that book, To Kill a Mockingbird? There was like Boo Radley, and everybody had these like stories about him, how I can't remember, it's been so long since I read it, but he was basically like the town cryptid, and it turns out he's just like some guy that nobody really understood, I think. I can't remember the book, but that's how it goes. The rumor mill, when people don't understand something and they start to fear it, so they make up a bunch of stories about it. I feel like that's you, and you're always in this process of like walking away. Like with the 3 of Wands reverse, it's like you're almost always putting distance between people, so it's like nobody can really get close anyways. And here we have, how does your energy affect those around you? This is what really stumped me, because it's just so different. I don't think I've ever been around somebody like you or interacted with somebody like you, and that's why it's so hard for me to place. But I think I'm starting to get an idea of what it means. But like I said, it took me a long time to be able to figure you out because you're such an enigma. So anyways, how your energy affects people, you have Caution, the Hermit reversed, and the Sun reversed. And I feel like your energy almost has the energy of like a plant giving off a poison in the air to keep predators away from it. I don't think that you're scared of people, and I don't think that you actively try to push people away, but you definitely have this energy or aura around you that's like, just don't come any closer. Like, I don't want people to come closer. I want to be left alone. And with the Caution, it's like, just keep a wide berth around me. Like, don't mess with me. I don't want to be interacted with. Like, just hands off. And with the Sun reversed and the Hermit reversed, I feel like there's a lot of people that would just give you that wide berth and be like, okay, I see the caution tape, I'm not getting any closer, because it's like they just don't want to deal with it, that they feel like they're going to get in your way or whatever. And a lot of people just don't understand you. I feel like the way that your energy affects people around you is it just kind of keeps them away. And I feel like that might be what you're trying to give off, like I said, where you just don't want to deal with a vast majority of people, so it's like people just kind of give you that space. I think it's very rare that you'll find that people would just come up to you and like interact with you. Because some people do have that kind of charismatic, inviting energy where they just want people to come up. They want to make conversation all the time. They're like golden retrievers, blah, blah, blah. Like, oh yeah, come up to me, let's talk about the day. No, you are very much like, you just kind of give off this look about you that tells people like, I don't want to be effed with, I don't want to be interacted with, and like, that's that, and people understand it. I feel like that's the way that most people, especially people your age, like I don't know your age, but especially if you're in school, you could definitely be like one of those loner types that people kind of stay away from. And I don't mean to say this like saying like you're weird, nobody wants to be around you. I say it and like you give off this vibe that makes it clear to those around you that you don't want anything to do with them and you would like to be left alone, and so therefore people leave you alone. I hope that makes sense. I hope I'm not upsetting you in any way, but I feel like, if you were drawn to this reading, you're like, yeah, that makes sense. I really don't want these people around me. I'm always trying to give off that energy of like, stay away. And then finally, the overall glimpse at your energy with Intuition and Seven of Pentacles. This reading was originally supposed to be how people perceive you. So I came into this with this perspective of, well, obviously there's going to be lots of people around you, but this energy seems much more singular to me. It seems like it just has to do with you. I think you're a very kind-hearted and introspective person, which would seemingly contrast with like the pessimism and not wanting people around you. But I see it as like, you're so at home when you're alone. You're so at peace when you're alone that all you have to focus on are the things that interest you, the things that you love. And I think that you do have a very vivid imagination. I think that you have a lot of different things that interest you. I think you like to think about a lot of different things. So, for example, this could be hobbies. Like maybe you're really interested in like specific stories, or maybe you're really interested in science and you like being alone because it lets you have that time to ponder all that. And with your intuition, I feel like you're just so in tune with yourself, is what it's trying to say, is you just feel very at home with yourself. You're like a hermit crab, and you just like to be alone. There's nothing wrong with that. And with the Seven of Pentacles, this card is all about growing abundance. I feel like when you're on your own, that's when the most of your abundance grows. That's when you feel most at peace, when you let your creativity and your imagination run wild. You could be an artist or somebody that just, works really well alone and enjoys like thinking to yourself and, doing whatever it is that you do. I think that it's all very different from the majority of those around you, which is why you just don't want to deal with them. You don't want to have to explain it all. You don't want them judging things that they don't understand. You have very niche interests, and I feel like you just love to explore it on your own and not be bothered by those around you. So yeah, that's about everything that I have to say. Your reading was very interesting, so thank you for letting me connect to it. It was definitely very eye-opening because I came into this reading thinking like, oh, everybody's got kind of the same kind of energy, everybody's always around other people, but yours is very unique, and it was very interesting to be able to see it. So I hope you're doing well, and something that I would leave you with is you never have to change who you are as long as you're comfortable. You don't have to worry about people around you. Let them think what they want to think, but as long as you're happy and you're comfortable, and I can see that you are happy and comfortable on your own, just keep doing what you're doing. Don't let anybody judge you or get you down. You don't have to live your life in accordance with anything that anybody else says. Just do what you want to do. So, thank you so much for watching Pile 2. Bye-bye. Alright, Pile 3, last but certainly not least. If you chose the protection card, then this is going to be the reading for you. Now, I have to say, for some reason, these readings have been taking a bit of a toll on me, and I don't have any caffeine today, so I'm a little bit slower than usual. That being said, I know exactly what the cards are trying to say. It's just more like it might make things come out a little bit slower, but it'll still be very accurate. So, just wanted to get that out of the way at first. So, starting off, the way that we're doing this is we're looking at what is the first impression that people get from your energy or your vibe? What is that kind of first impression energy? Then we're looking at how does your energy affect people? And finally, an overall look at your energy. So like the truth of like, what is your energy usually like on a day-to-day basis? What is it truly like? Not just first impression kind of thing that you give off, but what is it actually like? So starting off with the first impression, we have Caution, the Queen of Pentacles, and Justice. So with the Caution card, this one kind of threw me for a loop for a second because it's like, okay, why do people feel like they need to be careful around you? Why did they feel like they need to like slow down or be cautious? And what I realized is, with the Queen of Pentacles and the Justice card, you are somebody who's very much in their power. You are somebody who's very stable and self-assured. And with the Justice card, you're also very truthful. You could be a Libra. You don't necessarily need to be, but the Justice card does have to do with Libra. There's also Scorpio here with Death, just to put that out there. But you're definitely somebody who doesn't deal with fakeness. And you're also somebody who's very strong, very independent, and you might even be well off financially. I just get that because you have the Queen of Pentacles. But if it's not like in a financial sense, you just seem well off energy-wise. Like you don't need anybody else. You are very independent, very confident. And the reason that people are cautious about that is because it almost requires that they be on the same level as you in order to be around you. Like you don't tolerate fakeness. You don't tolerate, mean people or people that want to bring others down. And so I also get the sense that you're a very popular kind of person. People gravitate towards you. People love being around you. And I think that comes with that kind of charisma and that kind of draw is people that want to be popular will also be drawn to you. But a lot of people that try to be popular like that, or people that try to seem like they're the best, are often the ones that are most insecure, the ones that are most fake, the ones that bring other people down. And so there's a big caution sign around you that says, if you want to be around this person, if you want to interact with this person, you better come correct. And it's like they know that they'll be corrected by you if they aren't. Like I feel like you are a no BS kind of person, very independent, very confident. And it's like a true kind of confidence, not the kind of confidence that is built upon breaking other people down and like hiding your insecurities through just being really rude. And so that's where the caution comes from, is a lot of people see your strength and your confidence and they flock to it, but they know that you're going to call them out if they're fake. And so the caution there is like, you better be a real good person if you want to be around pile 3. You can't just be the kind of person that like strolls up and like has all this fakeness and doesn't show who they truly are and puts other people down. You have a very strong morality about you, and also just a strength in general. You're a very strong, self-assured person. You know who you are, you know what you want, you know what you stand for, and you don't compromise unlike other people do. You have very strong morals and you stick by them. And that frightens a lot of people, because there's a lot of people that can't be real like that. There's a lot of people that do fake things or don't really speak their mind or go behind people's backs or like constantly change their morals or whatever because they don't know who they are. And you are very different from that. And so just your presence alone, just your energy, challenges those around you. And that's why there's that caution sign there. So up next, we have, how does your energy affect those around you? And you have isolation clarified by death. Now, this one also threw me for a little bit of a loop, but eventually I did understand it. So with the isolation card, I was thinking more like, how does your energy affect people in general? But it's almost like your energy doesn't directly have a strong influence on people unless the two of you are one-on-one. I think you can definitely be like a fun, easygoing person. I mean, you're still a very strong, confident kind of energy about you, but it's not until you're like one-on-one with somebody that they are directly affected by you. And I feel like you, when it comes to people that you care about or people that you want to be friends with or people that you allow close to you, you absolutely require them to be truthful, to be kind, to not be fake. You need them to be real with you. And you're not afraid to call them out if they've done something wrong. And not in a call them out like you want to start a fight, but you want things to be fixed. You're very good at communication. And so what I mean by how your energy affects people is like, you know, when you're in groups, it's like whatever, but you'll pull people aside and one-on-one, you have these deep communications and conversations where you change people for the better, because you require them to be honest, you require them to be authentic and kind and real with you in order to be around you. And so what I mean by this is like I said, you have this kind of stable, confident, independent energy all the time, but let's say that you have like a friend group and one of them or two of them kind of been like gossiping behind your back. Later on, you'll pull them aside and you'll talk to them and be like, hey, I know that you've been saying all these things. I need to talk to you about this directly. And in order for us to move forward with a strong relationship, we need to get this ironed out. I want you to tell me up front if you have problems with me. And that person, that might have been the first time that anybody's ever pulled them aside and communicated honestly and openly and directly with them like that. And it changes them. Like with the death card, I feel like you inherently change people for the better, because something that a lot of people miss or forget or don't even know how to do is how to properly communicate emotions and work through things in a mature way. And since you're so used to this and you're not afraid to do it, it's like, in order for people to be around you for an extended period of time, they need to be able to grow and change like that as well. And so it's almost like you force people to evolve emotionally in order for them to be around you, which, I mean, is great because a lot more people need that. And I feel like there's a lot of emotionally immature people around, and you're one of those people that just doesn't tolerate that. Like, it's like you either change and get with it, or you leave and you stay away from me because I don't want that kind of energy around me. And you're very much like, it's no hard feelings. I'm just not going to tolerate this childishness around me. And it really makes these people think like, whoa, I do need to change. So you're literally causing people around you to change for the better. Like, you have a very powerful energy about you. And finally, with a look at what your overall energy is like, you have flow and the 9 of Cups. I feel like I said, you are very independent, but you also have a lot of people around you, a lot of different people like vying for your attention, people that love hanging out with you. I wouldn't be surprised if you had lots of friends. Even if you don't consider yourself like super outgoing, it's like people just love your vibe, people love being around you. But even with all that, you're not dependent on anybody. You're very, very independent. And you're also a very hard worker. So what I mean by your overall energy with flow in the Nine of Cups is you know what to prioritize. You're not constantly changing priorities to have people like if you're dependent on somebody, maybe you would constantly be changing your priorities to have them around you or to keep them happy. No. You prioritize the people that you love and care about most and yourself. And I feel like whatever it is that you want to put your mind to, if it's like a specific career, you will not prioritize for petty little things. You will not change priorities for other people. Your priorities lie where they are important. And you are just like in flow with it. And since you're not constantly changing direction and like second guessing things, you are able to achieve everything that it is that you desire. So like some people, especially in their like younger 20s, have a hard time making, like, for example, their career their priority. You know, they want to prioritize this relationship, but also their friendships. But oh no, there's, issues going on in the friendship, and oh, I need to prioritize this, and then suddenly like their career is falling apart. No, you know what to prioritize, and if things are falling apart, it's like, that's just not my priority right now. You very much stay in the flow of things that you know are most important. And it's just one of the many things that continues to build you up to make you seem super mature, because you are. It's just one of the many things that makes you seem strong to other people around you, that makes you seem very independent, like you've got it all together. It's because you know what your priorities are, and you are very mature. So, pile 3, that is everything that I have for you. I know it was rather quick, and I hope it made a lot of sense. I feel like you're a very complex person. But you're definitely, I almost wanted to say like top of the food chain, but I can't think of a better word. Like, you are definitely one of the people that people look up to. You're a very strong person. I think there's nothing here to change, just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing everything very well, and you're definitely changing those around you for the better. So, pile 3, thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.